So you have a page like this. I want you to get the basic fundamentals. These are, I know it says 2019 on there. I don't care. I'm just wanting you to get the concept of what, there's 44 plans here in just in Hamilton County. There's another 3 or 4 down in Marion County that we don't have here. The layout is essentially all the same. You notice that second row with all the zeros? Notice at the top it says S&P. That's for the people with low income. Yes, they are fantastic. If you don't have low income, forget that. But all the other ones, if you look across them, the cost to senior primary care physician, about the same. Whether it's 0, 5, or 10, I don't care. My guess is that will not bankrupt anybody. Okay? When Crystal and I take and try to put this puzzle together for Nancy, we're going to say, okay, what are your drugs? Because what plan purple might be different from plan orange of what drugs they cover better. And so finding out which one has your doctors in it. We spend a lot of time making sure we fit your network to you. Make sure that works for you. And then we have to talk about the foo-foo items. What foo-foo items? What are the things that are your greatest concern? The lady this morning, it was dental. She's got crowns and needed something that covered her dental really well. So we found a plan that fit with that one too. My favorite part, by the way, I have it underlined up there, and you have the left-hand corner, is they all have a maximum out-of-pocket, a worst-case scenario. If you ended up with a heart attack, let's take that first one in the purple. It says $290 for days 1 through 7. If you ended up with a heart attack, what are you going to be paying for that heart attack? I had people that were in the hospital 6 weeks with a heart attack, and they paid about $2,000. That's it. Out of a $500,000 bill, one guy paid just $1,800. Didn't even get halfway in there to his max out. What gets you to that? Typically things like cancer. Lupus, my lupus clients have the tendency to get to that max out pocket pat. ALS, some serious, seeing your doctor with serious treatment every week type of stuff is what gets you to that max out of pocket. You look at that number, max out of pocket, 1.4% of people actually get to a max out of pockets. If you're a healthy person, this is not a bad idea. I'm not suggesting this is what you should do, but this is certainly a good idea to consider. I'm not at this point saying this is what you should do, but this is where most of our generation's going. Next year will be the first year there are more people in Medicare that are in Medicare Advantage than there are in supplements. And why is that? Because our parents all did supplements. That's all they had. And they don't want to change, come heck or high what. So we're starting to change all that. It's going that direction. Just saw another article about that. So yeah, it's going to be changing dramatically, going this direction for the future. Okay? Any questions about that? Cool. Go to the next page. Looks like this. Here was like that. So, up at the upper left-hand corner, we talked about Medicare A and B. We're still explaining all that to you. Lower right-hand corner. Now, in the blue box, I talked about Medicare Advantage and Part D. Part D is typically, most of the Medicare Advantage plans have that in it. By the way, there are some Medicare Advantages that don't, that are designed for military, people who have VA benefits. Wow, are they awesome. And is Joe Namath lying? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But there are plans that do have money back to help you pay for your Part B. We just don't have any here, and it's 144. I did 2 in Florida last year when people moved down there, that they're getting $120 reduced off of their Part B premiums. The insurance company paying it or not. So, yes, there's all kinds of different variations, and veteran stuff are just super cool. Now we're going to talk about, oh, by the way, I forgot to give you my prop. There's my little house. Now, if you want to get a real picture of Medicare Advantage, you got the A and the B. There's a reason I have that. I'm going to ask you about that here in a second. Medicare C looks more like this. You have to understand, inside my house is the A and B, and the drugs, and all the foo-foo items, all the nifty things are all in there. So if we're talking about supplements, it looks more like this. All your bills would go here first, and this would supplement. Okay, so let's do anything to make sure that, okay, what you do is in your books that I gave you, on the left side, I gave you a guide. This is a CMS, which is the Center for Medicare Center, guide on choosing a supplement. Super quick, you go to page 7. I'm going to give you like 15 seconds there, because that's what's up on the screen. On what's up on the screen, the page you should look at. There's at the two sides you can go down. One thing I want you to do, at the top of that where it kind of has the T, put the word or. Yeah, right here, put the word or. It's not an and. You can't do both. You can pick one side or the other. And then we'll go to that next page on 11, which is at the screen. These are the different variations of Medicare supplement plans. Medicare has parts. Supplements have plans. The most popular plan is a G. F has been what most of our parents did. Those are no longer available to us. Took them away because when people had insurance that paid for everything, they went for everything. No jokes, I'm not making this up. Client went to the emergency room because they got a bee sting out of her finger and hurt. Well, it cost $5,000 to walk in the emergency room. But why couldn't you go to urgent care and live that bad? Call your doctor and ask him what you want to do. Call the nurse home. But so they said, we'll cut that out and now we'll do this. And then with this one, the only thing you have to pay, on your sheet, where you've got that little wing spot, you have to pay the Part B deductible. Part B deductible is, chop that on one there. You forgot, didn't you? See? Lori's 233, yes. 233. Yeah, so on your sheet that looks like this, you will book right 233. Next year, we don't know. You won't know what that's going to be until November. So that's all you'd have to pay, and that's for Part B. Your Part A would be completely paid for if you ended up in the hospital. The N is also very popular, where you have to pay the Part B deductible. You have to pay an excess, and I could try to explain that. And these three little dots, if we got into the details, which is on your page, you would pay after the deductible $20, up to $20 for your Part B. I'm not sure why you would want to do that when you pay $0 to go see your doctor on Medicare Advantage. But now it's peace of mind for some people, okay? So, supplements. Go now to page 18. This would be your golden nugget. When I was with that captive agent, they did not teach me this. When you talk to most agents, and I've worked with other companies, they don't like to tell you this, okay? Most of the plans in Indiana are attained age. 3 different ways the government lets you raise their rates. Attained age, underneath those words, I want you to write 8 to 12%. That's what you're going to experience in the first 5 to 7 years. Okay? The first 2 years, Mr. Rick, on the phone, you're going to ask him, well, what about what's going to cost in the future? Don't worry about it. I'm going to lock your price in for the next 2 years. You don't have to worry about that at all. And after that, it's kind of competitive with everybody else. You got to raise it, of course, with claims, right? So did he answer his question? No. And oh, by the way, Rick, do you think you'll live more than 2 years? I hope so. I mean, I've had a few clients that didn't, but for the most part, they don't tell you what it's going to look like when they're age 75, 85. I was working with a couple this morning, says, we got to get line. Yeah, she's 90. And her premiums are just outrageous. I had sat with a couple whose premium per year was over $12,000 a year they're 85, they're 86. We can't change. We're not big enough health way to change. $12,000 a year is like twice of what any of the max out of pockets are on the Medicare Advantage plan. So, and generally when that happens, it's the kids bringing mom and or dad and the talk about down. So, and my mother-in-law is a great example. I mean, at 85, her premiums were $350. She was literally trying to decide which of her groceries she could get by without so she could pay her premiums. And that's just not right. So we ended up changing her into a Medicare Advantage. Yes, she had to pay $40 now when she saw her specialist. And so she's saying, she still got $320 left to go from what she didn't spend in premiums. So, caution. Most of the plans, frankly, in Florida, attained age is not even full out. They do issue age. Under issue age, I want you to write 6%. I've been contracted with that company, with the biggest company that does that type of a plan. And if you read over to the left, they do not have rate increases based on your age. With the attained age, every year your premium goes up just on your age, usually 3 to 5%, and then you got to add claims on top of that. Okay? Not so with attained age or with issue age. With issue age, when you do that one, if you read in the book, it's going to say, okay, let's say Rick is going to be coming up soon. Let's say he does interest. And I go, hey Rick, I said, we put you in this plan. You'll always pay what a 65-year-old pays. I know, I was trained. And I'm supposed to shut up at that point. What did you just hear? What I've heard from clients a ton of times is, oh, my rates will never go up. We got Lori who's a 60 baby. 2 years later, you think she'll pay the same price at 65? No, it's going to go up. And it averages, I know because I've watched these for a long time, 6% is the average increase. The primary company in the state that does that one last year took a 9-point-something increase. And the year before was probably 3% or so. I mean, I read the analytics on these guys, so I watch them, I know what's happening. And then the last one is called community-based rating. Community-based rating does not have an increase based on age. It just has an increase based on claims. One big difference between this and the other two are based on zip codes. This is based on the entire state of Indiana. Therefore, your book of business is huge. The more people you have in your book of business, the better, because you can spread your risk out, okay? Believe it or not, there are actually some insurance companies in this state that have nobody insured. 15 people. I saw one that has 15 people insured in the state. Do you really want to be part of that kind of bird? I don't think so. I'm not even sure I want to be one that's only got 2,000 or 3,000 people insured in the state, particularly if they're going to divide that up by zip codes. Those are the kinds of things they don't tell you in that phone call. And they go, Mr. Ron says, we got some great things. You used to watch our kid when you were little, so we're one of the biggest in the company. We've got the cheapest premiums. Surely you want to do that. Well, sounds good, right? Until you know the details. I've got a spreadsheet. I don't want to take the time to show you, but I could show you the analytics on that where it can end up costing you like $60,000 more by making a bad choice going that route, okay? Just to kind of prove my point, the next page of your book, I work with a lot of those different companies, even some attained age programs, and here's There are obviously no names or policy numbers or anything in there. You can't look at it and say, oh, well, there's, Ron's policy or something like that. But I wanted you to see, there's a 69-year-old female. She just had a 22% increase at age 69. A 69-year-old male just had a 24% increase. Yeah, over the, yes, the first 2 years you had nothing. But you start adding that up over the next 30 years, 20 years, 15, 10 years, it can be pretty devastating, okay? So I just wanted to show you that I don't make those numbers up. All right, real quick, next page. There's the IRMA, the income-related adjustment amount. Income-related monthly adjustment amount. If your income's at certain levels, you guys can figure out where you're at for your Part B and your Part D. Next one is drugs, paranoid drugs, low income. This is just the upper level LIS, low income subsidies. Your income is below certain levels, then the cost of your premiums for Part B and Part D could be less, it costs you less. So that's kind of helps you understand that. So people who have HSAs, you might want to read this page. I really want to cover it in here, just information for that one, or we're flying through them now. Right? So tip number 1 on this list, do not ask your friends and family for advice. I constantly get people come back in and Lori comes in, I'm really worried because Bob, you signed me up for this program and my friend Teresa over here told me I shouldn't do that because I should do what she did because it's so good and I made a mistake by doing that. No, Crystal and I do this every day. We're going to do our best to get you what's best for you. And when you start listening to the friends and family, think they go, I've been in Medicare for 7 years. I know everything there is to know. No, they don't. No, they don't. They just know what they've got, and I'm hoping it's very good. So if that happens, ignore it. Don't go like the one lady and look at 3 months of YouTubes. Let's try to figure out what's going on. Tip number 2. I'm on tip number 2. Don't mail in the request information cards. So when I was that captive agent, one of the ways we got the leads to go out and try to make some money was people who mailed in these cards saying, I would like more information. So if I actually mailed you information, you're not going to read it anyway. So what we would do is I would show up, I'd call Ron, say, Ron, I see you signed up, want some information. I got that information, I'm going to be in your neighborhood, I want to drop that off for you, and if you have any questions, I want to answer for it. It should take about 15 minutes. It takes an hour and a half. It's great to have 15 minutes. Oh, by the way, we were also taught to try to sell you life insurances. You get to do with these kind of but that's what I didn't like about it. I mean, if I said I was coming to do something, I still not where I was going to go view. So I don't mail those cards in. So tip number 3, don't ask for information online. I went independent 12, 13 years ago. I left that captive agency after a little over 3 years. And I've already mentioned I'm an insurance agent. I get paid when I have clients. I'm at that point where I'm not worried about it. I got enough clients. I'm going to eat really well. I can buy you guys like the top-notch types of dinners, even if you don't show up. And it's all right. I can do that. I can afford doing that. But like Crystal, who's been at 2 years, she's just building her book. And a lot of those agents are hungry and they need to get out front it. And I get this call one day. Bob, I see that you're an independent agent and you know you need to get in front of people if you're going to make money. And we've got the plan for you. For a mere $5 a lead, we're going to give you a lead with somebody who's online right now asking to talk to you. They want to talk to you right now. They have questions, and if you answer their questions, you're going to do business with them. I don't know about that. That seems, let me think about it. And I'm not exaggerating. And that Saturday night, that next Saturday night, I'm on my computer, and I said I'm turning 65, and here's my phone number, and no exaggeration, 11:30 on Saturday night. I got my first call in 30 seconds. You been there, huh? Oh, I'll tell you what. And here's the thing he didn't tell me. They're selling that to about 100 agents, not just me. So you've got, now if you're a lonely person, you want to do that because you're going to get an awful lot of new friends. You're going to get a lot of new phone calls. There's going to be all kinds of neat people calling. And then it went on for probably 6 months that I kept hitting call after call after call. So don't go online and ask for information. You're going to regret it. Okay? So, tip number 4. I want you to go back to your book. Go to this book. I'm on page 23. This is huge. This is something else, particularly those companies that sell only supplements will not tell you. So, trial right. If you go in your initial enrollment period, this does not count if you do a special enrollment. So if you're going to stay on your employer plan, we'll leave this won't apply. But if you go in when you're first turning 65, you get the right to test drive a Medicare Advantage for a year. Try going down to Air Chevrolet and say, I really like that Colorado. I'd like to test drive that for a year, see if I want to buy it, and see what they do. Not going to happen. They'll say, we'll let you drive down to the corner and back. But no, you're not going to keep it for a year. So you could go through and get a Medicare Advantage on your first turn of 65, and you could try it for a year. Now think about that for a minute. Those supplements I showed you a minute ago average about 100 to 110. Then you're going to do a drug plan. Figure that about $150 a month hemp premiums. Okay? And for some people, that's the best way to go because it's their peace of mind. That's their company. And $150 is no big deal. That's okay. I get that. To me, $150 a month is a big deal. I'm a type lot, and so I would prefer not to hand my $150 to the insurance company. But you try this Medicare Advantage for a year, anytime. I've only had it happen 3 times in the last 10 years. And they were all guys, every one of them. They stick their head in. Some guy just knows way for a year, just a little teeth hook. Bob, what was that you told me about tribal rates? I said, Steve, you told me you were in great health. Yeah, well, I never went to the doctor because I was in great health. And now that I got insurance, I went and got my physical. I have stage 3 cancer. So I said, no questions asked. We'll put him into a supplement. They cannot turn you down. You got to get out of jail free card. So it's a pretty cool little option that you have. What I find is most people that I'll tell them, said, you want just try it. If you don't like it, I'll gladly move here. And I want to do what's needed to this piece of mine. I have a neighbor that lives right around the corner from me. She was insisting on she's going to do a supplement. She's in good health. I said, well, yeah, you could. It's going to cost you about $1,500 to $2,000 in premiums. Or take that $2,000, that $1,500, put it in an envelope, and use it to pay your co-pays when you go. I came back the next year and said, well, you want to change to the other one? She says, no way. I like having money in this envelope. It says she stayed on it. She's been on it ever since. So, pretty cool type of thing. Last tip, and then we're going to be done. Who in here is familiar with Financial Peace University? Anybody? Dave Ramsey, financial, Christian-based financial, he's got a radio show, kind of like a Rush Limbaugh type of thing. I taught that for years. Got all kinds of attaboy buttons for, helping people out with that. I'm a disciple of Dave Ramsey, I guess. So, tip number 3, and this is the last page in your book behind this one. It says, today's most popular money-saving tip is shop for your insurance with an independent insurance agent. Don't go to Bob Adams, the captive agent 16 years ago, because my job was to try to sell you what I had. I was trying to force you into what I had a bit. Work with Crystal, and we've got all the plans. And we're gonna look at picking what fits you the best. Oh, by the way, the government sets the commissions. So it's not like if I pick A company over B company over Z company, I might make more money. But all the same. So my objective is to find what works best for you. And both Chris and I will probably spend a couple hours with you trying to figure out what really works for you. Okay? And as a final reminder, come and talk to Crystal or I, cost you nothing. So why wouldn't you want to do that? So that's all I got for you folks. Thanks for being